Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Hello and welcome to the Financial Advisor Awards 2014-15 presented by UTI Mutual Fund and CNBC TV 18. I'm Sumit Lakhotia. Now, the Financial Advisor Awards were instituted to honor advisors who have worked tirelessly to ensure wealth creation for the Indian investor through wise investment plans, sound advice and product recommendations. Throughout this season, we've spoken to experts across the country to better understand changes in the regulatory regime and how best to adapt to the new environment. We've also discussed challenges, issues and the way ahead. Today, this season culminates in the jury round with promising candidates pitching to judges to stand out as winners in the prestigious Financial Advisor Awards 2014-15.
An esteemed panel of judges will determine the outcome of the selection process through a rigorous round of presentations and Q&A sessions with hopeful nominees. On the panel are Ruchi Karla, Associate Partner, McKinsey & Company, Vibhar Mittal, Assistant Vice President, ICRA, Piyush Dalmia, Partner, McKinsey & Company, V. Balasubramaniam, Chief Business Officer, BSE, Kalpesh Gada, Senior Vice President, ICRA, Karthik Srinivasan, Senior Vice President, ICRA, Sanjay Panse, Senior Partner, S. Panse & Company, L. Shivkumar, Executive Vice President, ICRA, Sandeep Sabarwal, Ex-Director, CRISIL, Uma Shashikant, MD, Center of Investment, Education and Learning, Suparna Biswas, Associate Partner, McKinsey & Company, A.P. Kurian, Ex-Amphi.
As you think about the importance of the financial awards, to me this is the only award which sort of goes out to the distribution community to a large extent. This community is extremely important. As you look at what is happening to this community, it's shrinking from about 80,000 to 1 lakh. It's now sort of about 40-50,000 sort of active IFAs in the market today. It's important that we recognize them, because they play a very important and critical role in building wealth. I think this award does a great job in sort of providing them the right platform, allowing them to come and showcase what great work they are doing, and sort of recognizing them as well.
I think the Financial Advisors Award is a very aspirational thing for someone to have. At a time when, the entire industry is looking forward to moving from merely selling products to being, customer friendly and client focused, I think these awards are a very nice thing to do.
I think it's an extremely important award. I think just a platform to bring all the financial advisors together to discuss and acknowledge their contribution to the sector is, I think, an extremely important thing to do for the industry as a whole.
From whatever I hear from financial advisors, they have high regard for this award. They feel that it's very prestigious. It's because it's not just based on some quantitative parameters as to how big their business is, what's the AUM size, but it also considers a lot of qualitative inputs around saying that how do they interact with their customers, what's their relationship model, what's their support structure, and so on. So from a holistic point of view, at least the jury tries to assess these parameters and come up with worthy winners.
If you look at this figure, number of customers active for 94,000. How much will be Union KBC?
It should be a 75-25 ratio. 75 will be
yes. You have a conscious plan, annual plan, and then you push through. That last year it was 14,000. You reach a market share of 2.89%. Now this year we are targeting 3.5%. We are in the
actually what we focus on rather more is, as I said, the inputs.
Actually, experiences like this is always phenomenal. One thing what I can say that it's not only a learning opportunity for us as a financial distributor, but it's always a learning opportunity in the overall holistic curve. What I mean by this is that we had a phenomenal experience in terms of in front of jury, that what the business that we are in, as we had represented our business, we bifurcated what we do, and their questions, their insights will be really helpful for us to grow in the business that we are doing in terms of regulations, in terms of what client centricity that we do. So all these things aspects help not only as the wealth distributors for us, but also in an overall perspective for client as well as the financial investments that we are into. So all in all, I would say that yes, it was a great experience to come into it.
I think it is one of the biggest platforms and one of the most reputed agencies which is today assessing the financial advisors on various parameters. So it adds to a lot of credibility to whatever you are doing. And let me say, because this is my 4th time, that this has been a learning process for us also.
So it feels great to be here because I think it does bring in a lot of visibility for one. And I think seeing women more often on TV, especially in this space, is hopefully get more women thinking about money, getting into the advisory business. Because one thing I'm personally not very comfortable with is the huge skew of ownership of wealth towards men. The point here is when women start thinking about money, working towards saving it, there will be a lot more ownership of women. Second is that when you look at equity as an asset class, it lends itself for people who are holding for a long time, and women tend to do that. They are long-term investors. So women in equities is a very natural fit, but sadly we don't have that in India. So one of the spaces that we are working towards is to make that happen.
Super SNI. Normal definition of SNI is what?
But we could start for less. See, the point is that if we have somebody who has that kind of money to invest, we would start them off for a much lower amount and build them up as we go. A client size would be around 120, but they are varying sizes. The spread is very huge in terms of one being very large and the others being.
120 clients managed by this team.
Yes.
Total AUM will be how much?
It's around 194.
These awards, which were instituted a couple of years back, and we have seen quite a few editions over these years, have evolved extremely well. If we look at the number of people who apply each year and also the manner in which the winners display it, it very clearly demonstrates that these awards are really looked up to.
The participants, the contestants, most of them have done exceedingly well, and they have demonstrated their willingness, ability and commitment to upgrade their skills, adoption of technology and disclosures, and serving their clients more efficiently.
It's time for a very short break, but don't go anywhere, because when we return, we take a look at the evaluation process and the parameters for the contestants battling for their winning titles in the Financial Advisor Awards 2014-15. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Financial Advisor Awards 2014-15, presented by UTI Mutual Fund and CNBC TV18. The jury round saw 52 teams presenting their proposals to the judges, who evaluated the pitches on quantitative and qualitative parameters across 20 categories. Take a look.
The panel of 12 judges were faced with the challenging task of evaluating the talented nominees to decide who has excelled across various categories. The panelists were divided into 4 rooms, catering to different categories of nominations. The candidates were each given a minimum of 20 minutes to present to the jury, followed by a testing Q&A session.
We charge any fee for... So we don't charge any upfront fee, any advisory fees?
The various parameters for evaluation included quantitative parameters, assets under management, asset profile, investor accounts, number of investment advisors, and number of products offered, as well as qualitative parameters, including educational or professional qualifications, experience, client servicing, scope of services, forms of compensation, quality of research and advice based on feedback from investor sample, and quality of service based on feedback from investor sample.
Broadly, the manner in which one is looking to really judge these participants and what one is looking for has always been the quality of advice and how much value addition, especially which these participants are doing to their clients. But I think one important criterion which one has been looking to give a little bit of more importance over the years has been the investor education initiatives. How conscious are these participants of the possibility of a mis-selling? How much are they really into it for their clients and not for themselves? So what we are really looking for are firms who put their clients before themselves and who try to manage this conflict or try to manage the inherent difference between the two. So I think that's something which increasingly we've been giving more weightage to over the years.
Here I found that the process was very, very scientific, and it was like virtually going through a college or a school degree exam in some sense, in terms of the efficiency of the thoroughness with which one had to actually evaluate all of that, and also the different kind of attributes. Some of them were quantitative, but most of them was also qualitative. So you have to actually look at the kind of presentation, what the ethos beyond it is, look at the objectives, look at how they are delivering. So you have to actually look at so many parameters. So this actually made it very, very interesting for me. And it was not something which I actually had expected at the start of the day. But probably I'm going wiser by the end of the day.
Two areas were new. One was in relation focus of the advisors to the family office, which is something starkly different than earlier years, which is emerging as a major area. The second, which we are looking at, is as extensive use of the quantitative techniques.
I think both of them I thought were really good. It's a tough one. These two are not comparable. One guy is completely emerging. He's just got 500 crores and 400 families. This guy has got actually 500 families, but he has
AUM is 4,500, and this guy is just small guy.
This guy, but only thing is,
small it isn't, not small in a comparison.
Jury was very good, and they asked the right question, because sometimes the depth of business is so deep and you are not able to present the things specifically on the presentation, because presentation is very small, 20 minutes. How can you just so they asked very fine question, which I was also very pleasantly surprised. They asked the question where I also wanted to give detail, and they asked those questions. The jury was very good and presentation was very well, and they asked the right question. That is more important to get contented with the presentation.
The jury was great. It was a very interactive presentation, so it wasn't like that we were just presenting and they were listening. And there wasn't like that you present first and then you have the Q&A round. So question and answers were interspersed during the presentation. So I think it went on very well, and we are hopeful of winning again this year.
I think both rank almost the same.
Particularly
actually, first and second both almost the same.
Yeah. So we give out of 15, we give about 40%.
I believe there was some 37,000 or 35,000 nominations this year, which were evaluated using a set of quantitative and qualitative criteria, and across each of the categories about 2 or 3 of the nominated players were selected to come in for the presentation. The presentation and the jury process was also very well structured. I think for each category there were a defined set of parameters with the weightages, and we did go down each of those parameters, score the candidates across each of those parameters, and therefore came up with a consolidated score, which was then used to sort of obviously rank the players.
You have to create a new section of investor education.
No, we have one for investor education, across categories.
So there we can. So maybe we should just give her more marks on investor education so that she qualifies for that.
We are talking of first one.
First one.
Yeah. And the second one we should consider along with the.
But there is a separate category for South. So that way, Prim and affluence are in the South category.
The category I judged was for the IFA community across the 4 zones, north, south, east and west. And there was also the women category. 2 women in particular in the women IFA category were absolutely inspiring. The methodology that we used within the jury to sort of come out with the results were across 3 or 4 parameters. I think number one, we looked at investor education and financial deepening. I think second, we looked at the quality of advice, which is quite important. It is not only about just doing transactions. Third thing that we also looked at was some of the systems and the processes that they have put in place. We also looked at what is the span of control. So those are some of the aspects that we looked at, but overall I would say advisory capability, investor education, and systems and processes that people have put in place.
On that note, it's time for a very short break, but when we return, we get a glimpse at the nominee pitches and the various award categories that are to be expected at the Financial Advisor Awards 2014-15 presented by UTI Mutual Fund and CNBC TV18. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Financial Advisor Awards 2014-15 presented by UTI Mutual Fund and CNBC TV18. Let's now take a quick look at some of the pitches by the nominees during the jury round and the various categories that each team is battling to prevail in.
Each candidate was prepared well with respect to the category that they were nominated for. This year, the categories for the Financial Advisor Awards featured Best Performing National Financial Advisor Retail, Best Performing National Financial Advisor Institutional, Best Performing National Financial Advisor Wealth Distributor NRI category, Best Performing Regional Financial Advisor North, South, East and West, Best Performing National Financial Advisor Online, Best Performing National Financial Advisor Equity Broker, Best Performing Individual Financial Advisor Mega Cities North, South, East, West, Best Performing Bank PSU, Best Performing Bank Private, Best Performing Bank Foreign, Best Performing Individual Financial Advisor Women National Level, Best Performing Individual Financial Advisor Cities Tier 2 North, West, South, Best Performing Individual Financial Advisor Upcountry, North, South, East and West, Best Performing National Financial Advisor Wealth Distributor, and Best Performing National Individual Financial Advisor.
This is about my business. We have tried to understand what the client's capacity of taking risk is, or capacity of not taking risks and taking them across the entire spectrum, right from a liquid fund to aggressive sector funds.
We manage over 650 crores of assets across 325 clients. Portfolio sizes begin from 1 crore. Average portfolio size is close to 5 crores, and some of the portfolios are 30-40 crores.
We cover on the ethics of mainly 3 pillars. We'll clarify on those on the slide: goal orientation, diversification, and professional management. All my clients, be a 1,000 rupee client or a 1 lakh or a 1 crore, what is his goal? We start with discussion only, then we'll go to the next thing. That is my main ethics.
It's a big recognition actually, because anybody who is getting this award, first is for an organization like us, it elevates the sales team completely. There's a big motivation that happens. We celebrate this moment. Second, all our clients give a lot of value to us. They give a respect that we are certified now. We are winners of some certification or some award. So these are very, very important things for us, and we really cherish this.
Because of this award, we get a certain kind of motivation to grow a little faster, to grow in terms of, like an example, we are expanding internationally now. We have strengthened our IT systems. We have strengthened a lot of things. So that gives us motivation to do better and better and challenge us every time.
I think it's not about differentiating but adding a significant value to your customer. I think a customer focused approach and tailoring your entire value chain to see that it delivers good economic value for your customers is something that has helped us generate success in our business.
Well, it's very, very important. Because as an industry we need recognition, and this is one of the initiatives which brings about significant recognition. It also brings about an aspiration for all of us to do better. It also brings about an aspiration for young people to join our industry, and because this is a people's business, and the more initiatives like that, we'll be able to get more talented and energetic young people joining this industry. So it's very important.
In 14-15 it was 93 crores.
and revenue generated was 15 lakhs. That is also a growth of 92% and 114%.
You have a tie-up with some?
Yeah, I gave back my card. I had opted for the BSE card, but then you turn out to be a broker, it takes too much time. So I have a tie-up with Edelweiss.
I think the presentations were very, very good. In fact, over the years we have seen that many of these entities are sort of repeat nominations. They come, each year, and the presentations have evolved. They become very focused. But what's important in terms of change really is that the change we see in their approach to do business is largely driven by the environment.
It's very difficult for the jury to really identify a winner. And the real heartening thing is that people are not just basing the growth on just a market euphoria. They really want to be client-centric. They want to give the best thing to their clients. They want to build long-term trust-based relationship. And from that point of view, it's been a really exciting day.
It's very important for the morale of the financial advisor industry. And it will be good to continue having this in future, and look forward to having more and more participation from these players going forward.
The award has grown in stature. The importance that people accord to this award, whether in terms of an investor or whether in terms of the actual advisor who showcases the award to his existing or prospective clients. So to that extent, the whole process has evolved.
A recognition like this award certainly is a booster to their morale and a feeling of, yes, I have been recognized, my work has been accepted, my hard work is recognized, is something important and useful to the community.
With the final stages of deliberation underway and the jury members painstakingly making their decisions, the stage is set for the Financial Advisor Awards. Who will achieve the title of the Best Financial Advisor? For all this and more, stay tuned to the channel and catch the Financial Advisor Awards 2014-15 presented by UTI Mutual Fund and CNBC TV 18. Until then, many thanks for watching.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.